Welcome to the Power of One. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Pastor Jenkins, but because he's such a down to earth person, we're going to call him Brian for the show. Today, we're going to speak about better serving our homeless population, which is so important. Welcome to the show, Brian.
Well, thank you so much for having me today.
Brian, let's get this conversation started. Let's talk about Chosen 300. You are all over the news. You are like so popular. I'm so honored that you took a little bit of time out to speak to the little people like me. But tell me about Chosen 300, how it got started, your vision, your dream, and just how it became so, I don't want to say popular, but how it became so wonderful in the city of Philadelphia.
Well, thank you so much. Well, first, I always like to tell a little bit about myself because it helps people understand what makes me tick and why I do what I do. I was born here in South Philadelphia, in Tasker Projects. That's before it became the Tasker homes where they have, $400,000 condos now. It was the projects then. And my mom was white. My father, I think, was black because I came out this way somehow. I always share with people he was the maintenance man at the projects where my mom lived, so he was working on more than just the pipes. And so that's my going joke, just kind of laugh my way through it. My mom died when I was 5 years old, and actually
Oh,
wound up in an orphanage here in Philadelphia called Stenton Child Center, right at the corner of Stenton and Belfield.
hmm
And then later on went into foster care. I was the youngest of 25 foster children. And I always share that part of my life because it helps people understand what makes me tick and why I do what I do. I was very fortunate. My foster home was on the main line. I grew up in Ardmore and I went to Harrington High School. Later went to Temple University, and I was very successful. I was actually an insurance agent in 37 states across the country. I was a member of the National Association of Securities Dealers, and I advised the top Leaders Council, $1 million roundtable in mutual funds and annuities. And I was also an associate minister of a very traditional Baptist church in Ardmore, Pennsylvania, Zion Baptist Church of Ardmore. Had a long black robe and two crosses on the side and a high top fade with the cross carved into the side of my head. And but I really didn't feel like I was doing my part, and I didn't know what God wanted me to do, but I still had to do something. 1996, I was at a play at the Miriam Theater. And there was a homeless man standing outside of that play. He was obviously homeless. He had some stained pants that lifted above his ankles. He had a half-torn blanket that wrapped around him that exposed his meatless ribs. And he had a rope that he tied around his waist to hold up his pants. The amazing thing is that as all the Christians came out of this play, they saw this man and walked right by. My heart was such a compassion, not because of who I am, but because of the Christ in me. And I shared him the gospel that night. And I gave him the last 40 cents that I had. And I said, I wish I could do more for you. And his reply was, but you considered me. It's like someone took a knife and stuck it in my chest and turned it and said, are you really considering the poor to the capacity that you're able to? And my real answer was no. I was doing very well, had a lot of religion behind me and loved the Lord, but wasn't doing my part. And so he asked me for a Bible that night. I didn't have one to give him. I said, tell me you're going to be next week and I bring a Bible and something to eat. So I headed to the city of Philadelphia with these 40 bag lunches and his Bible, and I met him on the corner where he said he would be. I'll never forget the smile that he had on his face. The amazing thing is that I never saw this man again. And there's a scripture in Hebrews that says, be careful how you treat strangers because you may be entertaining an angel unaware. And that was my angel that night. And so I started walking through Center City, Philadelphia, came to 16th and the Benjamin Franklin Parkway. There were 10 homeless men there. I had 5 bag lunches left. I began to pass them out and they began to divide them among themselves. It taught me something that night is that this is not what the media portrayed, that these people were dangerous, so they were help hurt you. But this was a community that was down on their luck, that just needed our help. And so we decided we could head into Center City, Philadelphia, pass out bag lunches once a week. How hard could it be? Within 1 month, we were serving over 100 homeless people. So we started getting
wow.
people from our community. You make fried chicken, you make macaroni and cheese, you make collard greens, get some desserts, some drinks, and we threw it all in the back of my 1994 Toyota Corolla and headed to Center City, Philadelphia to 16th and the Benjamin Franklin Parkway and set up shop there every single Wednesday night. And that was the beginning of Chosen 300 Ministries. Matter of fact, I remember when I bought that car, I told the Lord, I says, Lord, thank you for my brand new car. I want you to use it for your glory. I will never, ever tell him that again. because I had to rip out the interior of my trunk because chicken juice had dripped all in it. Stuff was growing on the back seats. Some old lady hit back in my car, put a dent in it, and the Lord says, "Go buy a computer for the ministry." And it was the first computer in 1996 the ministry ever had was a compact Presario with 2 gigabytes of hard drive space. That was computers back then. So gone a long way from then, and God's really done some amazing things in the life of the ministry. From there, we started training churches or our model on how to have effective homeless ministries. Now it's grown to where we have 4 regional locations. We have this one here where I'm sitting today at Spring Garden Street on 11th Street. And we have this one. We have another one in West Philadelphia. We have a bulk food distribution center in Ambler, Pennsylvania, and another site in Reading, Pennsylvania. We currently do about 170,000 meals a year throughout the Philadelphia region. We have job readiness programs. We have computer labs. We have expungement services where lawyers come in every single month and clear people's records. We have barbershops. We have health clinics. We do a lot of things to help people get food to also move towards self-sufficiency. We do about somewhere around 150,000 pounds of groceries every year. And that's during our daytime program where families can come and pick up groceries to help them just curtail the difficulty of food insufficiency. So that's what we do locally. We also have 24 locations around the world internationally. We're in Guyana, Jamaica, India, Nigeria, South Africa, Liberia, Uganda, Haiti, Kenya, Benin, Congo, Republic of Congo, Trinidad, and the United States. We pump over 2 million pounds of food around the world. We build wells. We do agriculture development. We build latrines. We have built schools. We do a lot of things to help people get food, education, and nourishment, and just be able to survive in life.
Wow. And you have time to sit here and talk to me. That's amazing. Amazing. So now does someone have to actually prove, and I don't know how you prove this, that they're homeless, or are your doors just open when you open them?
Yeah, the doors are just open, and the reality is that if someone walks through that door, they have some type of need. Whether that need is spiritual, emotional, physical, we're here to be able to provide hope to people. But there's also that other person that comes in that people don't know that needs something, and it's the volunteer. Built inside of every single person is a need to be needed and need to be fulfilled. And sometimes just giving people an opportunity to serve is a gift to people that need it so badly that I need to be able to help somebody. I need to contribute, and I don't know how. And so the doors just stay wide open, and whoever we can help in whatever capacity we can help them, we try to do that.
There was an incident I remember where a young man was stabbed to death in a shelter on Kensington Ave, and that broke my heart. And they reached out to Northwest Victim Services for help. The sad part about it is he never had a proper burial because we couldn't get in touch with any family members. How do you serve those of the homeless population who don't have addresses to get mail, or because they need to be able to get mail if something was to happen, or say they're just getting a job and they're going to get themselves together? How do you help in that way?
Well, there's various services that are available throughout the Philadelphia region. We don't provide mail services ourselves, but there are organizations that do that. We do provide services as far as making sure that they're connected, as far as getting their IDs, that they have email capability where they can get online and things like that. And so those are opportunities that we try to make sure that people get that help.
So tell me about, I know you said you have different locations in Philadelphia. Do all the locations serve the same purpose? Break down for me what you do in each location.
Sure. So our Center City location serves a lot of folks that are either street homeless or sheltered homeless. And so 80% of the people that we serve, that's that dynamic. When we move over towards West Philadelphia in our Reading locations, where we have 50% homelessness or 50% people that are living in homes. And so it shifts the dynamic a little bit where, for instance, in West Philadelphia, we'll provide groceries over there because there's more people that live inside of homes that can pick up food and be able to take it home and cook it. we still provide the evening meals as well. We provide barber days at both locations. We get out to our Reading location, same scenario where we have a lot of people that are living in homes but just can't afford food. If you think about it, even when you and I go to the grocery store, if you pick up three plastic bags worth of groceries, you're walking out with a bill of at least $120 and sometimes even more. And so when you have a family of four, or if you have a family that's living on a fixed income or very subsidized income, they can't afford groceries. And so that's a wonderful opportunity to be able to minister to them in that capacity.
Do you see a lot of families that you spoke about, or tell me a little bit about the statistics if you have them? Do you see more males than females? What's the age range?
Sure. So again, that goes by site as well. So again, in our center city location, we're dealing with more street and sheltered homeless. So we have more of an adult male population, predominantly African American. If you go towards West Philadelphia, we start to see more male and female dynamics, and even some children. You get out to Reading, we're dealing with whites and Hispanics, and maybe 20% African American. So it really depends upon the location. One of the things that we have discovered as we have branched out into other locations, that poverty knows no color, it knows no age bracket, knows no demographic. All these folks come because of the fact that they have a need in their lives, and it's really not based upon a particular demographic. But there's so many people throughout our country that suffer from poverty. In Philadelphia alone, 23% of the population fall below the poverty line. That's 1 out of 4 people in the city of Philadelphia that is below poverty, that needs some kind of assistance.
Now, do you find that you have the same individuals who come every week? And do you have it where, I want to say, success, where they're able to get the jobs? Because I heard you say that there's job readiness. Do you have a great population of them that are able to get jobs and then no longer need Chosen 300?
Absolutely. We have some people that have transitioned out. Matter of fact, there's one young man that used to work for me here. When he came, he was actually at the Sunday Breakfast Rescue Mission around the corner. And when he came, he was in a pair of flip-flops and a T-shirt. He was a drug addict, drug dealer, had been to different penitentiaries serving time. And when he came, he says, I put my arm around him and told him that he could make it. And he said that moment in his life changed him. And so he wound up, getting himself cleaned up. He started working for me as a site manager. Now he's a director at one of the outreach programs that serve the drug population. So he's doing very well. So we see a lot of those testimonies where people come back shaking their keys, saying, I got my apartment, I'm off the streets
That's
now.
awesome.
And sometimes they still need a little bit more help, and that's
Mhm,
fine. But everybody's level of success is different. For one
mhm,
person, it might be from a street to a boarding room. Another
mhm.
person, it might be, well, I get my apartment. They might never get the 3 bedroom house with the white picket
Right.
fence, but everybody has that step of success. Sometimes it's just, okay, I got my ID. Finally, I can be able to go around the city and be able to do something. And so everybody has those steps of success. And our goal is to say, okay, how can we help you get to your next step?
I heard you speak about ministries and volunteering. Is it just ministries that can volunteer at Chosen 300? And exactly what does that look like to volunteer?
Sure. So one things that we stress is that we are a Christian-based ministry. We do not hide that at all. We believe in the saving power through the gospel of Jesus Christ. That people not only need the physical help, the humanitarian aid, but they need the gospel of Jesus Christ that will bring them unto redemption. So we do not hide that. However, we do welcome anybody to come and serve. We've had Muslim groups, we've had Christian groups, we have had Jewish, Jehovah Witnesses, Mormons, you name it. Everybody has been here, and we create a welcome place, and we let people know that when you come, we're glad to have you. Anybody can serve regardless of your faith. Understand that before we start our meal, we're going to have a gospel message where we give people the opportunity to accept Jesus as their savior. You're not required to participate, but we're glad to have you. But the reality is that anybody can take food and put it on a plate. There are 2 ways that you can serve here. You can do it out of your Christian conviction, or you can do it out of your kindness because you are a human and you want to share spearhead the kindness of humanity to others. And so anybody can come and serve. We do have companies. We have places like Penn Medicine, Patient Care Coordination. We have Drexel University. We have University of Penn. A lot of different groups come and serve and to be a part of Chosen 300 on a regular basis, regardless of what they believe.
How is Chosen 300 funded? How do you get your food?
By prayer. No, but I say that in a joking way, but in sincerity, we do it really by faith. We do fill out grant applications and foundations grants and things like that. People can give to United Way or by designating their job. They can give to the combined federal campaign if they're a federal employee. But mostly, a lot of people send gifts in the mail where they give online. We of course have things like Cash App, which is $ chosen 300, or they can go on the website and give at chosen300.org. But we count on the generosity of people to be able to help our organization maintain its operations. We operate on about somewhere between $650 and $750 a year as far as our general budget to make sure that we're able to do all the services that we provide, not only both here locally, but also all around the world.
So please tell the viewers how they can volunteer, how they can get in touch with Chosen 300.
Absolutely. So you can volunteer by going to our website, chosen300.org. There's a link there that says volunteer hours. Simply click on that link and you can come anytime as an individual. If you're coming as a group, we do ask that you call our office. It's at 215-243-0300. And you can simply contact us and let us know what day you want to come. We also encourage people to sponsor meals. There's a thing that we have called Celebrate. Celebrate is that if you want to celebrate your birthday, you celebrate your anniversary, your pastor's anniversary, maybe you want to celebrate your divorce, whatever you want to celebrate, you can come down and say, I want to bring my family with me to celebrate this day. And you would sponsor the meal, whether that's for $600 or $300 for that particular meal. And then it's your night where you can come and actually serve the folks and know that you have honored your day in a special way. Instead of receiving a gift for yourself, you can take that and reciprocate that kindness and give a gift out to someone else. And the basic necessity of food is the greatest gift that you can give.
I want to go back to something you said when you first met that homeless man who changed your life, that you thought they were violent or that they weren't good people. When you're serving the homeless population, do you ever deal with any altercations or anything that's not of uh godlike, we'll say? Or do they come in organized, then they're respectful and they sit down and they want to help?
They are probably more respectful than any other place that you want to go to. But I share with people all the time is that any place you go, you can go to Walmart. You can go to the celebration down at the Philadelphia Eagles and get mowed over by a car. Anywhere you go, you walk outside the door, there's always possibility that someone's going to be unruly or things like that. That's just the nature of humanity. It's not to be pointed towards people that are impoverished or hungry or whatever. A very dear friend of mine, matter of fact, his family comes to serve here at Chosen 300 every year. And I don't mind saying his name because he knows that we kind of promote who he is. His name is Robert Braxton. It's a foundation, Robert Braxton Foundation. He comes and brings his family, and they serve every year at Chosen 300 in honor of their son. Their son was killed at a mainline church by an usher who shot him at church, at a predominantly white mainline church. Now, people ask me, am I concerned about coming to a homeless mission? I'm concerned about churches that have the NRA.
Yeah, yeah.
So, it's like I said, but and I only say that to say that no matter where you go, there's always going to be good, bad, and ugly. I think here you have a better opportunity in a controlled environment to be able to serve, knowing that it is a safe place for people to come and be able to do their part, whether that's out of your Christian conviction or out of your love for humanity.
What is your vision for Chosen 300 in the next 5 years?
I love that question. So one of the things that we just recently done, we purchased more land over in West Philadelphia, and our goal is to build a subsidized housing unit because that is the next step to be able to transition folks. We want to go towards subsidized housing because there's a lot of shelters, but the idea of getting people to the next step where they can have their own place to stay, that's going to be significant. And so that's one of the big goals that we have. Globally, we want to be able to improve people's lives to a greater degree. One of the stories I always love to share. I was actually in Liberia, where I'll be next week. Um, we're driving to go help a pastor with agricultural development, and got to this village and couldn't go any further. We had to walk the rest of the way. I couldn't walk because of the fact that everything that was in me got shook up, and I had to go. And I asked where the bathroom was, and there was no bathrooms in this village. All the houses were made of mud bricks and sticks. And these folks had fled Monrovia and the cities during the course of the Civil War. And so when they got there, there was no infrastructure. No running water. The stream that they drank out of was contaminated water, which infects their bodies with worms, eats out their internal organs. And so I got a chance to stick around because I had to. I concentrated 10 trees while I was there. But I had a chance to see how people lived. As a result, 2 years ago, we built a well there. It's the first time that they ever had water, fresh water, and now they don't have to drink out of a contaminated stream. This year, we built latrines where they now can have showers and bathrooms. And the pastor said to me, well, we have to train them now. I said, for what? He says, so that they know how to use the bathroom. They never used the toilet before. And it just like blows your mind. And there's no education system. So our goal next is to build a school there and do some electronic things where they can be educated. And so just taking a whole community that is totally displaced from the world, has no education, no running water, no infrastructure. How can we go in and take one community and transform them so that they can grow up to be the best that they can be in life?
Yeah. Pastor, I am so glad you met that gentleman that day because you have made this world a better place for those who are of the homeless population. And I thank you so much. Please give the viewers again the contact information for Chosen 300.
Absolutely. So the website is chosen300.org. The phone number is 215-243-0300. If you always like to give me a cash app, it's $chosen300, or you can also reach us at PO Box 95, Ardmore, Pennsylvania 19003. The one thing that I always like to close out with is that those that decide to give to our mission, one of the things that we encourage you to do is to follow your gift. And what I mean by that is that after you've given, come down and volunteer and see your money in action, knowing that your money is going to a great place. We're also a financially audited organization. We just don't take your money and don't have an accountability. We make sure that every dollar that you give is used to help people. And matter of fact, 84% of the organization's revenues that come in are used for program expenses, and only 16 are used for managerial. And that's far beyond what the standard is here in the United States. So we're excited about being an outstanding organization that's financially responsible and also impactful to the communities that we serve.
Thank you so much, Pastor, for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. You have to remember the power of one starts with you. It's all about you giving back to someone less fortunate than yourself. Peace and love.